The Lakers are widely expected to relieve Luke Walton of his duties after the season and are reportedly interested in bringing on Dallas Mavericks head coach Rick Carlisle, per Mark Stein of the New York Times. Now, it should be pointed out that everybody kind of has their area and their zone. Right? Like, ooh. And I love Steiny. Mark Stein is a Cal State Fullerton alum. So any Cal State Fullerton news, he's all over. But he's also really tight with the Dallas folks. Mike Fisher of 24/7 Sports asked Mark Cuban of the report on Wednesday, and the Mavericks owner said a lot without saying much at all. LOL, he replied. Fisher followed up by asking if Cuban cared to elaborate. Nope. LOL, that's my quote. In other words, like, we ain't letting him go. Now, there's a lot of weird things going on. Do I expect Luke Walton to be fired? Probably. Probably. That's the way it works. Coach takes the blame. The next step would be general manager Rob Pelinka takes the blame before anybody ever really blames, Magic Johnson or LeBron James. And in fairness, Luke wasn't hired by Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson, so most people thought he'd be the first guy to be gone. But I don't actually think Luke has done a poor job. I think the roster is flawed. I think he's made some mistakes, but I think the roster being flawed combined with the litany of injuries has caused the Lakers to have this sad state of affairs. LeBron got hurt, missed 18 games. In addition to the fact that for a good portion of the season, he wasn't the old LeBron James. And they had a bunch of other injuries as well. So, look, do I think Luke loses his job? Yes. Do I think Luke should lose his job? No. Do I think the Lakers have already started to plan and plot where they're going to go with it? Sure. But here's the difference. Are the Lakers the only job that's going to come open this offseason? Nope. But it's the one everybody's talking about. Were the Lakers the only ones looking at making a move for Anthony Davis or other big trades around the trade deadline? Nope. But it's the only one we're getting information about. Are the Lakers the only team to have an injured star player? Nope. James Harden was injured to start the year. Porzingis was injured to start the year. You look around the league, there's other teams that have had injured star players, but it's the only one where there's leaks about who LeBron wants to play for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Every other team in the NBA operates in the shadows. Heck, in the NFL, they operate in the shadows. Odell Beckham Jr. was traded last week. I remember I was coaching my son's Little League game. My son is a huge Odell Beckham Jr. fan. My dog is named Odell Beckham Jr. Jr. True story. And the trade happens, and even though there were rumors, even though there was discussion, the fact is, no one knew he was going to Cleveland, and it seemed to blindside a lot of people, right? There's no blindsiding anything that happens with the Lakers. Do you know why? The Lakers have not mastered the art of being ninja dads. Ninja dad. If you've been a father, you know that the number one thing that leads to happiness in your household, number one, is sleep. When you have a baby, and our good friend John Ramos is about to have another baby, he's going back for more, just didn't enjoy the punishment enough with the first two. Give me more! And I love being a father, and I don't require a ton of sleep. But my wife does. And once children learn to sleep, even though some kids can sleep through jackhammering outside, the second there's a creaking door or a barking dog or a meowing cat, or you stub your toe, somebody's up at a time they're not supposed to be up. And there's a reason they say, never wake a sleeping baby. Do you know why they say never wake a sleeping baby? Because they're terrorists. They are. They're like the type, they're the worst version of themselves. And then your wife is also, she becomes sleep deprived, nutrition deprived, sanity deprived. And if she doesn't get her 8 hours, three hots and a cot, woo, she's not the same human being. So you learn as a father to be a ninja dad. What's a ninja dad? All right, you got to get up and get coffee and take the dog out. So before you go to bed, take the collar off the dog, because you can be as quiet as you want, but the dog creak, 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 wakes everybody up. Take the collar off the dog. Leave it by the door. Take the keys. Make sure you know where the keys are and put them in a place by the door. But you're not done there. Make sure your shoes are seated somewhere outside the door. Your car's parked outside the garage, because you can get out the house, but all of a sudden you press the garage door open. It's going to wake somebody up, right? You get up, can't have an alarm, just got to wake up on your own. Then you got to slowly, 1 foot, then another foot. Better have socks on, because bare feet make more noise. Slide along the wood floor. Make sure you know where the wood floor has creaking spots. If you're going to brush your teeth, you better make sure you do it without turning on and off a faucet, and don't flush the toilet. And if you're going to pee, you got to sit down to pee. Sorry, because it just makes too much noise when you're standing up. You slowly sneak out of the house, grabbing the keys, but not making them rattle, right? You pick up the keys, all of a sudden, people wake up. You pick up the keys and you grab the metal to the key first, the key fob second. You don't want to unlock the car door or lock it too many times when it goes to beep, beep. All of these things allow you to sneak out of the house, take the dog, go to the park, get the coffee, come back, and sometimes you're going to get a text from your wife. Where did you go? You have succeeded. You have accomplished your goal, got out of the house without waking anybody up. You should be championed as a hero. They don't. They never say, hey, Dad, thanks for not waking everybody up. It's pretty amazing. But consider the alternative. The guy who rattles the keys, steps on the Lego. Damn it! Who left this here? Stubs his toe. Dog rattles. Everybody's awake. Everybody's miserable. And guess who doesn't get to get coffee in the morning? That dad. That's who the Lakers are. The Rick Carlisle idea? It's a good idea. Rick Carlisle is like an offensive genius. He's won an NBA championship. He's really good with the players, really well respected, and let's be honest, it ain't like the Mavericks are winning a championship next year, so maybe you throw a bunch of money at him and you say, what do you think? Same thing happened last week with the Clippers. I've told you the only way in which you win a championship in the NBA is if you have respect in the locker room, and the only way you have respect in the locker room is if you've won a championship. Wow, that's hard, right? So, who's won a championship in the NBA? Doc. And he wouldn't have to move. And he's with the Clippers. What do you think? What about the idea of Doc? It would have been a really, really good plan had they not told anybody. But the Lakers either can't help themselves or they're just not ninja dads and they're rattling their keys. Then it's like, all right, we can't get Doc. Who else? What about Rick Carlisle? I like it. Offensive mastermind. Beat LeBron once upon a time in the NBA Finals. Really well respected. Kind of has some swag. Plus, we pull out the legs from under Mark Cuban's chair. I like it. Here's the only problem. Got out, became public because too much noise. You got Jason Kidd, who's openly opining for a job that's not open. Dude, what are you doing? You can't go on TV and talk about a job that's not even open when you've just lost the last 2 jobs. And by the way, the second you got fired in Milwaukee, they got better. Same thing in Brooklyn. I mean, the Lakers, they mean well. I swear they mean well. This is me when I wake my children. I swear, honey, I was just trying to go get you Starbucks. Just trying to take the dog out so you guys could sleep. Yeah, but you woke everybody up. These were all great ideas until they became public. And this is the exact same thing as the Anthony Davis deal. Like, look, do I think Anthony Davis is awesome? Sure. Do I think he's a game changer for the Lakers? Absolutely. But once it became public and everybody starts talking about it, it's a disaster within your own locker room, especially if you don't pull it off, which they didn't. The Lakers have to learn to grab the metal on the key, leave the key fob, sneak out the door. Like a ninja dad. We'll be working with the ninja skills of one John Ramos for the next couple months as he prepares for fatherhood. It just reminds me of when John Lynch took the San Francisco 49ers job. John Lynch, during an interview process, wanted to take issue with Jed York. Lynch's candidacy for the GM opening was a secret by his design, and his name was never linked to the search until he put pen to paper on Sunday. The 49ers communication staff made it a point to announce the interviews with 9 candidates, but Lynch's interviews were never made public. I made it a big deal to stay quiet, Lynch said. This was on an interview with KNBR 680 in San Francisco. First of all, you know what I was doing? Part of the rumors are things that fly out of that building. And so I wanted to see, can I trust this building? So that was part of my thinking. Right? Operate in the shadows. That's what everybody does in professional sports. Well, not everybody. Everybody except the Lakers.